Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super discussion, theory, speculation video. I am once again joined by the one, the only. You know his voice, you know that he's not going to come into this video with any type of enthusiasm whatsoever. Please say hello. MJ from Geeklist TV.
Guys, MJ here, and I'm ready to do this discussion. Real, what's going on?
That was unanticipated. Anyway,
Well, it wasn't too energetic, bro.
Anyway, guys, we are here to talk about something that we noticed in the preview for the Universal Survival Arc. It's one of those. I can never remember. Anyway,
Universe Survival Arc,
whatever.
Mark.
Just let us talk. Anyway, so we're here to discuss something in that preview that a lot of people haven't necessarily either tried to pick up on, or just the focus has been so much around, female Broly and, Joker Destruction God, that we haven't necessarily had any reason to talk about the fact that we get to see, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we get to see at least 6 other gods in that preview.
Yeah, at least 6 to 7. I also think the Gandalf God Destruction, the little green guy, he wasn't shown, but we get to see about 6 or 7, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And then, so this is one thing that I was thinking about, because it's not something I was anticipating, especially as a fan of Dragon Ball Super, and based on, what Dragon Ball Super has told us throughout its entire run, is, these are 12 universes. They are basically twins of each other, and each have a corresponding number, and then we get to see, the only 2 universes we get to see are 6 and 7, which, as we know, share the Super Dragon Balls. And as I've already covered on my channel, there was indication from the last arc of Dragon Ball Super with Zamasu that, in fact, the Super Dragon Balls, or the Dragon Balls in general, only exist within those 2 universes. So before we go any forward, I want to actually make that point pretty clear. There's no indication that Super Dragon Balls or Dragon Balls in general exist in any other universes. And then, since we get to see these 6 or 7 gods of destruction on top of the 2 that we already know, it's become very apparent, just doing simple math, that there is no twins like Beerus and Champa. MJ, what are your thoughts on that, man?
It's really weird, because I was expecting to get new gods of destruction, character designs, but I was expecting their counterparts to look exactly the same, you know what I mean? Just maybe a bit different attire, or maybe a different skin tone, but roughly the exact same. That's what I was expecting, but that's not the case, when you go back and look at those 6 to 7 gods, and also counting the god that was revealed in the V-Jump, that little Yosemite Sam god, you know what I mean? They're pretty much all different. They're pretty much different entities altogether. You have a fur ball, you have it looks like a dog or a mouse, and then you have an elephant, the god of destruction, clown. It's they are very much completely different from each other. And then you over here look at Universe 6 and 7, and Champa and Beerus are actually brothers, so it makes me think that in a sense they are special. And here's just a little bit of evidence I like to bring up, is that even though Vados and Whis were kind of I guess being assholes but being sarcastic at the same time, I'm pretty sure they did not want Beerus and Champa to get destroyed by the Omni King. I'm sure they were just playing around, but at the same time they were kind of saying, oh, they're lazy, they're not doing their job. And we've seen how quick the Omni King's fuse can just blow up, you know what I mean? So it makes me wonder, the fact that they were in front of the Omni King, this guy who can eliminate everything, and yet they had the audacity to play around with him like that. It makes me wonder, is there a reason why he didn't destroy them? Is there a reason why he let them live? And there's also, to back this up, is just the fact that Universe 7, it's the universe we've known. It's the universe that we've seen Goku live his life through, So it makes sense that Universe 6 and 7 would probably be special. I'm going to just use that term. Would probably be special, real. And that's why they are brothers, and that's why they do differentiate from the other gods of destruction. I don't know what you think about that, but
I mean, in terms of, if anyone who's listened to my channel for any length of time knows that I've said this off and on, the fact that, like I said at the beginning of the video, the Dragon Balls, the Super Dragon Balls, only exist in these 2 universes, and they are the solid MacGuffin of the story. They're the thing that basically allows this story to continue moving onward for the foreseeable future, because without them, everyone would be dead by now. You would basically have future Trunks' timeline, but it would be even worse because people would have just died and not been able to do anything about it. So I think, I personally feel that if they're only in this universe and they're the MacGuffin of the story, then there needs to be some kind of implication that their existence in this universe has caused some kind of rippling effect and some kind of... I don't really know or exactly know what it would be to make it so Beerus and Champa are gods of destruction, and they're also seemingly twins, for the most part, almost identical twins, other than their obviously obvious physical differences. While all the other gods of destruction don't seem to have any type of relation, that's not to say they're not kindred spirits or brethren in that sense. But
as far as looks go, they are completely different.
Yeah, it's as far as looks go, they're completely different. And the one thing I was thinking about before we started recording this video is the fact that this kind of gives a lot of credence to, personally, and I know this is just speculation, but it gives a lot of credence to what people were talking about and how Whis has been acting basically this whole time, talking about how, I'll let you live, I'll train you if you're going to become a god of destruction, and all this back and forth that he's had both in the movie and in the series with Goku and Vegeta, and this insistence that you could become a god of destruction to usurp Beerus. And wouldn't it be interesting if, even if they start whittling all this stuff down, that Champa and Beerus are basically, I guess they like everyone has been speculating for the longest of times, what if the fact that they are brothers just makes it clear that they usurped whatever gods of destruction came before them? For whatever reason or anything like that. I'm not necessarily sure one way or the other. I need to make it clear. I was actually talking with Geekdom the other night, and I mentioned this to him, and he was laughing and said that he would really like it to be just his speculation is wacky as it is. He wants them to be the sons of Zarama. And I know that sounds wacky to some people. I actually happen to love it because it does bring the Dragon Balls into the mix, and it brings the Dragon Balls into the mix. It creates a lot of dynamic between Beerus and those two universes. It shows why they're special, and we get kind of an idea of why we've been here for so long and why this universe was so important, why Goku's story is so important, because he goes around and meets all this stuff. I feel like that retcons and puts it all together in a nice, neat bow. But that was his speculation, not mine.
I mean, I like it. It's kind of funny because I mentioned to you off air that we've actually looked at Zarama fan art back in the day. I'm not sure if you remember this, but we looked at some fan art, and most of the fan art of this so-called character is like a humanoid Shinron or a humanoid Shenlong, so, which is funny, to see Shinron like on two legs and stuff. But anyways, it would be cool if that's like the story behind it. Like, it makes me just wonder though, it makes me wonder if they are the sons of Zarama, how come Beerus was so unknown of the Super Dragon Balls, it would be a cool way to kind of see, because I do agree with you on the sense, and this is what we talked about off air, is that I feel like there needs to be a grand scheme to this. I feel like there really does need to be an overall, because when you look at Goku's arc in Dragon Ball, his story arcs, the whole grand scheme was each tournament he failed, and then finally, not only does he win the 23rd World Tournament, but he's actually able to save the world in the process. So Goku is now the strongest fighter, quote unquote, on the planet, at the end of that. And then you look at the Saiyan arc, and you look at what happens in Z. Sort of the grand scheme is we find out Goku's past, we find out his heritage, we find out what happened to Planet Vegeta and his other race, we find out why they're not around, and then of course he beats Frieza, the guy or Trunks, whatever, but he beats Frieza, and that kind of completes that. With here, I feel like we're kind of just floating around in limbo with Super, because they introduced so many ideas with the lore, but I feel like there needs to be a grand scheme, and I do kind of, even though some people might think it's silly, I do agree with you and Danny on that funny idea that it would probably help explain the whole reasons to why Beerus and Champa are the only ones who are twins, and it would help kind of put everything in a nice little neat package, put Super in a nice little neat package and pack it up, and that would be a cool way to I don't want to say end the story, but it would be a cool way to kind of explain why the Super Dragon Balls are just in 6 and 7, especially in 7.
Well, in terms of wrapping up the first, I guess we could say, because there's no indication when this show's going to end, probably won't end for a while, but I mean, even if it's just we're going to wrap up the first major story arc, because this story arc is probably going to take us, if they drag it out, it's going to take us to 100 episodes, maybe more, and we just have no idea how long it's going to be. I mean, fingers crossed it's going to be just as long as the last arc, if not longer, because you want them to explore these characters in this situation. And personally, I feel like when we have these characters like Beerus and Champa, who seem to be so not, they're not, I guess I wouldn't say they're visually different from everyone else, but just their mannerisms that we haven't necessarily seen from anyone else. But even Whis and Vados insisting that, Beerus is lazy, Champa eats too much. They enter each other's universes like too frequently.
This is true.
And they're sitting there in the Fakatsu no F arc of Dragon Ball Super, is like, why are you here? You shouldn't be in my universe. And it just, to me, although we haven't seen any like indication outward of how these people interact and for what reasons, it seems very suspicious for the fact that maybe they just do this, and because they're in this like kind of ever fluctuating limbo between two universes that share a set of one set of Super Dragon Balls, they are, for whatever reason, put in this path to be unique, and the only ones who are basically standoutish. Everyone else might be prim and proper and just able to just go about their day. There's nothing really special about them. And if you put it into any context like that, that might be more interesting and actually get a lot out of that and be able to walk away from this tournament respecting Beerus and Champa a lot more than we do now. I mean, we already love their characters in general, but one thing we don't necessarily know is how do they basically react or kind of compare to their other godly archetypes. These other guys, are they just as ridiculous, or if they're prim and proper, do we start getting like this sitcom-y love for these two characters just because they are wacky and weird and outrageous as compared to their other comrades? And then, are they younger? Are they the sons? Is there something more intimately involved in the story as to why they look and act the way they act as opposed to everyone else? But like we've said, this is all very speculative. We do not know how these people act. So
yeah, this is true. It's very funny though, because like when you look at that God of Destruction, the clown one, he does look a bit sinister. So it's very funny because like when we first meet Champa, even though when we do meet him, he's kind of like, we kind of already get like a taste of him. We see like his mannerisms, and we see like the fact that he doesn't want to blow up a planet because he's lazy and he makes Vados do it. It's like, it's just looking at the way that clown looks. He does look like he means different business compared to Champa and Beerus, at least in my opinion, But that's in a whole other topic. But I'm just saying, like, I get what you mean about the mannerisms in Champa and Beerus compared to the other guys from what we've seen so far, It
would be interesting because obviously the implication that these two are brothers, and the fact that even Whis and Vados are siblings, indicates that gods are not like most gods in Dragon Ball. They are born from something and somewhere. And if they do have parents, and if they are kind of put in this situation, it would be interesting if nothing else, just to at least be told that they are the youngest of all other 12 universes. Or personally, when we talk about any of this, I just want to throw out my crazy wacky theory, because we just don't really know. Like I said at the beginning of the video, and MJ, tell me your thoughts on this after I'm done, but when we said in the beginning of the video, we saw about 6 or 7 Gods of Destruction, puts us up to about 8 or 9 that we've actually seen for the entire concept. What we did get to hear in the Future Trunks arc is the fact that there were once 18 universes, and Zeno took out, I think it was said that he took out 13 through 6 or 18, or at least that was the speculative.
I think they said he took out 18, so.
Yeah,
not 18. So, I mean, there were 18, and then he took.
And he took out 6. Then that's the interesting thing. Like, if you do, like I said, it's simple math to sit there and go, these two aren't siblings because, or no one else is siblings because the math doesn't add up. But what if he didn't kill, like he didn't blow up just like a random set of, like, you know, you had 1 through 12 and then 13 through 18, and he didn't just blow up 13 through 18. He just blew up 6 universes because they made him mad, or he got mad. And the only reason we're not seeing siblings is because those universes got blown up and now they're unique to only themselves. But that does seem to contradict what we said at the beginning, although, I mean, that's already been contradicted by that statement that I just mentioned from Weiss. So it's all up in the air. You don't really, I have no idea whether one statement is true with Dragon Ball Super, and that's something that really kind of makes me scratch my head. But what are your thoughts on that? Could they not be siblings because their universes are gone?
That's a very interesting theory, and I have not thought about that. That could be the case. And it makes me wonder. It makes me really wonder, bro. If that's the case, do you think these gods are going to be kind of hostile? Like, I wonder, like, how do they feel towards the Omni King? You know what I mean? It's very interesting because when you look at what's going to happen in this tournament, bro, like, fuck, dude, that's it. That's an interesting topic. I know I'm kind of rambling here, but my point is that that's a very interesting take on the story arc, because we know that Omni King can eliminate everything. If he eliminated those universes, and then some of those universes had the counterparts of, let's say, the god clown and the god elephant, you know what I mean? I wonder how this is going to affect the personalities in this next arc. Like, are they going to be way more hostile than, let's say, Beerus or Champa? Are they going to be kind of like, they don't really, you know, like a give a fuck attitude? Are they going to be more distant from the Omni King? Like, are they not going to be, you know? It makes me wonder, like, because we've seen the way Beerus and Champa act around the Omni King, you know? So, it makes me wonder how they are going to act. But, I mean, that's a good, dude, that's like a whole topic right there, dude. A whole other topic, a whole other video, but that's a very interesting take on what could happen, and that could be a reason to why it was mentioned in the previous arc, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like tie it in, you know. So,
no, I agree, and guys, I think we're gonna just leave it at that. Tell us what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think any of this sounds plausible, or something that you'd like to see them kind of explore in the future arcs? Tell us what you thought of our ideas. Tell us what your ideas are and everything. But MJ, do you have any other thoughts? Like any other kind of weird, wacky, throwing, you know, Hail Mary pass for an awesome idea, man?
Maybe Beerus and Champa are the sons of the Omni King.
Maybe.
That could be.
Anyway.
That was so bad, bro.
Anyway, guys, tell us your thoughts in the comment section below. Please make sure to go check out MJ. His link will be in the description below. He makes some pretty awesome content, daily content for everyone who loves Dragon Ball content. So
and anime content.
MJ, thank you. Yes, I'm sorry. Anyway, guys, please make sure to go check him out. Please make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe on this video. And thank you for joining me, MJ. We're going to catch y'all later.
Okay, bye.